Amen. Let us go into our teaching. I pray that little worship help to just set your mind and prepare for this time of teaching. I feel a little bit solemn in this teaching, more so than I anticipated. So I just hope that the worship that was playing as the words on the screen were coming by help to just set your frame of mind for this teaching. Amen. Let us go into the teaching. I'm going to read a small section from the book called The Richest Man Who Ever Lived. And the author of The Richest Man Who Ever Lived, it's actually a book about Solomon, but the author of the book is Stephen K. Scott. And I want to read this small section from it. This is in chapter 1, I believe it is. Before I start, I want to read this scripture from Proverbs. All right, Proverbs 21. The plans of the diligent surely lead to advantage. The plans of the diligent surely lead to advantages. You have to have a plan. And with that plan, or in that plan, you have to have the intention to work the plan. Not just have a plan. Not just write down a plan. Not just think about a plan. But you have to have every intention to work the plan. Come what may, no matter how challenging, no matter how difficult. Sometimes things will happen while you are working on the plan that will be painful. They'll be emotionally painful. They'll be financially painful. They will be psychologically painful. It could cause some strains in some relationships as you work the plan. But you have to have that plan. If you're going to accomplish anything, you have to have the plan. You have to intend to work the plan. And then you have to work the plan. Be persistent with the plan and be diligent about the plan, about working whatever it is. Proverbs 21:5 says, the plans of the diligent surely lead to advantage, but everyone who is hasty surely comes to poverty. You don't just come up with an idea or have this, wonderful dream and then just start doing it. Vision is the first step. Yes, dream big. Have visions. But you have to put a plan to that vision. If you just jump out and start doing things, if you do things hastily, you will surely come to poverty. Why? Because everything you have to do in order to make your vision and your plan come to reality will cost you time and will cost you money. There's always something that has to be sacrificed. There's always an opportunity cost. What is an opportunity? Here's an opportunity. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go after it. Here's my plan, which is an opportunity. Here's my vision, which is opportunity. Not my plan. Here's my vision, which is an opportunity. I'm going to go after it, but going after it is going to cost me something. So if you just jump out and start doing it without planning, the who's, the what's, the why's, the how's, the how much, the how long, the how often, the where. If you don't sit down and plan it, you will surely come to poverty when you just jump out and start doing, jump out and start wasting time, spending time, which will end up being wasting time. Jump out and start spending and wasting time. Jump out and start spending and wasting money. You can go to some of these conferences right now. You see all the real estate conferences. Everybody's got a class. Everybody's got a book. You know why? Because right now that's their only way to make money. Their way to make money is, it's not fully, but that's their best way to make money, is to make money by charging you fees to educate you and teach you and train you things. For some, it's just one of their streams of income. I've talked to you before about having multiple streams of income. For many of them, it is just one of their streams of income. And it may be the stream of income they're working the most right now during the coronavirus lockdown and times of fear and times of panic. It's one that they're working the most right now because it's one we can all do from home. It's easy to do. And everyone's looking for an answer. So it's easy for them to make money selling these products and these education plans and these trainings and coaching and all that right now. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. Don't misunderstand me. But I am saying, this is the point why I bring it up. What I am saying is if you have a vision and something you want to do, and let's say you go and attend a 1-hour webinar. At the end of that 1-hour webinar, they're going to offer you a $700, $500, $700, $1,000 package for more training or more access to whatever. If you right there in that moment just jump on that opportunity, it could be a good thing. Or it could turn out to not be so good. And I have done it, so I'm not downplaying it. What I'm saying is you have to be careful because everything that glitters isn't gold. If you go to one of these workshops, quite often, they'll offer a special price package if you do it now. What they don't want you to do is go home and think and do research, do your due diligence. Because if you go home and do research, look to see other people's experience using these products, you may decide you don't want to. So they want to get you right there while your emotions are high. Now, what I would say is before you attend the 1-hour webinar, do your research. So then by the time you attend that 1-hour webinar, you already know what this person's or this company or this business's track record is, what people have to say about it. So then you know if you're ready or if it's really the right thing to do to take advantage of that opportunity by the end of that call, because you've already researched it. You've already looked around to see what people's outcomes have been. Several years ago, a client of mine, he was a real estate investor. And he owned a couple of properties across the United States. And he was doing okay. He was doing okay. And he wanted to expand. And he was working full-time. I think he was an engineer of some sort. So his real estate investment was something he was doing on the side, which meant he really did not put in the time to investigate certain things. I promote having a side business. but there's a way to have a side business when you have a full-time job. All right. That's something we can talk about, something we should talk about. Anyway, so this client of mine went to a weekend conference of some sort, training event of some sort. And at that event, they were selling, helping you to create LLCs in Nevada and a couple other things. So him being wanting to expand his business, he just gave it no second or third thought. He just jumped right into it. Ended up having all these LLCs. He had one in Nevada and one someplace else. And in the end, and when he came back to me and told me what he did, I just, why? Because that's having an LLC, one LLC, when you have five properties, one LLC in Nevada, and you have no property in Nevada, really does you no good. But you wouldn't know this because the person who's trying to sell you the product, to let us help you put your properties in the LLC so you can be safe, so you can protect your assets. What they want from you, they really don't want you to protect your assets. What they want from you is the money on the spot. So now this guy's got these LLCs. I think he did two, if I remember right. He did two, and then he started buying more properties. Never did make the connection between these properties that were everywhere except Nevada, and getting those properties in Nevada. Never did happen. And it never was going to happen. It never happened for him just because he couldn't figure out what was the next step. And the people who sold him on the package were pretty much of no use once they sold the package. He wasn't diligent in his work. Before he ever went to that conference, before he ever did that, he and I should have had a talk about this LLC thing. And I would have guided him in a different direction. But if the LLC thing was the right thing to do, and then he went to this conference, this workshop, and they were there talking, they were selling, they were selling. It would have been a good opportunity for him if it really was the right thing. But he hadn't been diligent in his planning and his plotting of his business and his progress before going out and spending the money. Again, Proverbs 21:5, as I said, the plans of the diligent, if you're diligent, surely lead to an advantage. But everyone who is hasty, he was hasty in making that decision. He was hasty in not even telling me that he was, thinking about doing this, going to this conference. And there's more to the story, which I won't say at this time, but they surely lead to poverty. He had many properties by the time this was over, and it didn't go well. Not because of me. I gave him advice, and yeah, it didn't go well. Let me read this section in this book. The diligent take all the time they need to plan and prepare so that they can perform with excellence. Those who are not diligent fail to take the time they need to plan, prepare, and perform. They tend to shoot from the hip, and in their haste, ultimately results in failure. I have lost my life savings 5 times, and in each instance, I acted with haste. I was anything but diligent. The first 2 times, my losses came to $20,000 and $120,000, respectively. The next 3 times, the amounts were much greater, in the millions of dollars. Similarly, my daughter lost her savings when she acted hastily without seeking counsel from me or others. Had either of us acted with diligence rather than in haste, she would have a nice savings account and I would have millions of dollars more in my financial portfolio. I cannot stress the importance of planning and, as this author said, preparing and then performing. I cannot stress the importance that planning has on the success of your business. I'm more conservative in my efforts, in many efforts. I'm more conservative because I've lost money. Have I ever lost money in business? You bet. Thousands, thousands. I've lost thousands trying to run businesses, start businesses, get into real estate investing. I've lost thousands. So at this stage in the game, I am very, very cautious. I'm very, very careful with my planning. You will see in some places you read people say there's never going to be a right time, so just jump out there and do it. That is true. There's never going to be a right time, but there are times that are better than others. But regardless, anything you're trying to do and do it quickly without fully thinking it out, without having your ducks in a row, without planning right, without having certain details thought out better, um, it might the percentage of people that those type of endeavors work out for well is small. It's minuscule. I just read he said he lost his life savings 5 times. Why did he have to do this 5 times? Why? Why wasn't the first 20,000 enough? Okay, sometimes you think it was just you just messed up on the first time around, so you're going to get it the second time around. Second time around, lost 120,000. 3 more times after that. Why wasn't why what did it take to learn? Well, he learned after 5 times, but look how much money and time was lost. So there's a way to get into business. There's a way to start business. If you're working full time, and now I promote side business, everybody, in my opinion, should have a side business. Everybody. That means you need to quit your full-time job to have this side business? Not necessarily. In most cases, no. And not right off the bat. Maybe one day down the road, but not right off the bat. Do you go out and make these huge investments right now? Not really. There's someone I've been working with to start a business. We've been at it for a couple of years, actually. And she wants to start a business that would basically require a real estate investment of some sort. It could be rented real estate, or it could be purchased real estate. So there's real estate that has to be involved because this particular business has to have a house attached to it. You can't do this business without having a house. So there's the real estate. Then there's all of the furniture, equipment, and supplies required to run the business, to operate the business. Then it's a business that you cannot do alone. You have to hire help. So now add to, you have to have a home. There's all kinds of expenses to go into having a home. or having a physical location for your business. All kinds of expenses go into that, whether you rent it or own. There's lots of expenses, lots of things the city will require. So there's the home, there's the furniture, equipment, supplies, daily supplies that will be used up daily. And then there is the payroll cost of having, hiring, firing, payroll costs, and all of that. All that goes along with that. There'll be insurance, many, many, many things. So she wants to start this business. And I've been talking to her about baby steps. Because the first thing you have to do before you have a business of that magnitude, you have to know what it requires to manage a business. So you start small with something really small. While you keep working, don't stop working. Keep your day job. Keep working. Start small. Learn how to manage a small business properly. I see some bookkeeping books, people who have businesses, their books, out of control. You have to learn how to manage your business properly. Learn how to manage your business properly. And then start adding on to your small side business idea. And when you do that, you'll realize you need to grow slowly because you need to build up money. You need to build up skill. You need to build up capacity. There's so many things you need to build up. And in building all these things and running your business, you're running the business, you're serving your customers, you're serving your clients. But then you got to go home and manage your business. When you finish working with your clients all day or your customers all day, you still have to go home and manage the business. Buy supplies, look for supplies, buy supplies, manage the money, watch the money. Every day you need to know how much money is in the account. What happened today? What problems arose today that need to be fixed before tomorrow or before the next business? And then you've got customers who are calling you and emailing you and texting you. You got to keep your composure while they're calling and texting and asking you questions that could seem like they're questioning your ability to serve them properly. And they might be. But your communication with that customer has to be one that stays professional, that stays in control, that answers their questions. Can't become offended by their questions. And let me tell you, they come up with some questions. You've even got to discern when your customer is trying to play you. Because they do. So by starting small, you build up all these skills all along the way. And then you add on to the small business idea. You add on to the small business idea a little bit more. And then at some point, if you're in a type of job where you can start cutting back your hours, you might start cutting back your hours on the job so you can put more time and effort into the business. And then at some point, if you might decide that you don't want to jump full feet into the business. You'll decide along the way. As you start to work it, you will make a decision. But at some point, you may say, you know what? It's time for me to cut the job, go and give the business my full and undivided attention. But when you do that, you have already built up your skills and your finances and your bank and your clientele and your reputation. You have already built it up. You've got your A team together. You've already built it up along the way. This is being diligent in business. This is planning. This is plotting your steps. This is making progress. And I said earlier in the beginning, I said to journal your progress. Because you might have to go back and look and see what all of you did. Or something you might remember something you tried to do in year 2, found out it wasn't time for it in year 2, but now you're in year 5, and wait a minute, there was something I did way back. What was that? I can't hardly remember. Go back in your journal and you'll find what you tried to do in year 2, but it wasn't time. But now in year 5, it's the right time. So be diligent in business. Take your time. Don't act in haste. Start a small, if you don't have a side biz, you need one. Start a small side business. Start working it. In a time right now, do not put all your eggs in one basket, one employer, depending on one, or even if you have a business and you're depending on one big customer, you're setting yourself up for failure and loss. All right? All right. Now, I hope I've helped you today. I really do hope I helped you today. I want you to start a side business. I want you to be diligent. I want you to plan. I want you to take your time. I want you to be intentional about your steps. I want you to learn how to manage your business at the beginning, from the onset, not down the road. From the beginning, learn how to manage your business. Well Done Tax and Business Services is here to help you. You can visit my website to see how I can help you. And if price is an issue, let me know. Okay, I do charge for my services. However, because of my commitment to helping people have a small side business, I will help you for less than my price if I see your diligence. All right. All right. God bless you. I love you. And may the Lord bless you and keep you and make his face to shine upon you and be good to you. In Jesus' name, amen.